Please have a seat, please. All right. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to AGU and to your first lectures in Biology 111. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Sameh Sarray. I'm Associate Professor in the Department of Biochemistry, and I'm also the course coordinator of Biology 111. Right? So before we start by our first lectures, I will start first by introducing the course, what is expected, what you will have as a test, and so on. General idea about the course. So the course, it has 4 sections, okay? The first section, it will be ensured by myself. I will teach it, which is the cell structures, okay? Then it will be followed by molecular biology. It will be taught by Dr. Mahmoud, all right? And then after that, you will have your midterm exam, all right? I think they already fixed it, but we'll see it at the time progressing. Then the third sections, the third topics, it will be about cell biology. It will be ensured by Dr. Adiba. And then the last part, it will be genetic, and it will be ensured by Dr. Ibrahim Shahid, okay? So the 4 sections, full section, it is, ensured by a specific doctor, all right? So the lectures, you know them. So it's the course is 4 credit hours. So you have 3 hours of lectures plus 1 hour of lab, right? And so the lectures, they are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 and 9:20 and 9:30 to 10:20 for the 2 sessions. And on Wednesday, you will have a tutorial. What is the tutorial session? The tutorial session is kind of a session where the student, they will come. Of course, it's not mandatory. It's optional. You can come. You can not attend. أنتم أحرار. There is no, we can set attendance, recording, or anything. And during the sessions, the doctor will come and you can ask him whatever the question you need regarding, of course, the topic that you studied. أي شيء ما فهمتوه, أي concept, أي mechanisms, أي whatever. Please don't be shy, or then don't be ashamed to ask any kind of questions, okay? So we are here to explain for you everything, because it's very important, because on phase 2, we're going to build up on this, informations. كل مرة نضيف عليها on phase 2. Of course, it will be applied on medicine, but we use it as a basic knowledge, okay? لازم الناس الكل بتكون عندها this basic knowledge, and it has to be fully understood, okay? So please don't hesitate to ask questions during the tutorial. Ask the doctor, please, doctor, can you go through again, for example, this mechanism? Can you go through again, for example, the transcription process or the duplication of the DNA process? Can you repeat it, please? Okay. So during this tutorial, it will offer, to the doctor the possibility to go through again the mechanism. لأنه session lectures is a bit tight, and sometimes we don't have enough time, to explain very, easily and take our time to explain everything, because we are limited by the time. Okay. So the tutorial session is really sessions which allows us to go through specific point which needs to be cleared for you. All right. And of course, the doctor, he can also provide some questions, all right, to test, your knowledge. هل أنه فهمتوا ما فهمتوا أشياء هيك. Okay. The lab, already the group, the other group already started yesterday. You will have 12 lab. يعني من امبارح لحد December. So they will be, dispersed throughout the whole semester. And you will be separated into 2 groups. You have group A, group B, and it will occur on Sunday and on Thursday. For the exam, all right? The exam for biology 111 نفس الشيء بالنسبة حتى البiochemistry is the same thing. Always you will have a midterm exam, then you will have a final exam. لكن الفاينل exam it will include all the 4 topics. midterm for example the first 2, all right? يعني بالوقت we will precise for you what are the topics that will be included, all right? And then in the final it will be from today till December, all the lectures, okay? Not only the last half or lectures, okay? The midterm exam it will include 85 questions. The questions that we ask you, they are multiple choice questions. بعرف إذا كان عندكم you are familiar with this kind of questions. The multiple choice question نعطيكم سؤال and then we give you 5 choices, all right? And you need to pick the correct answers. There is only one answer. There is no 2 or 3 or 4. Only one. The other one are all wrong, all right? So this is the multiple choice. You will have 5 choices and you need to pick the right answers. So the midterm exams, it will be 85 MCQs. The final, you're going to have 100 MCQs. Of course, you will be allocated more time for the exam. And the lab exams as well, it will be written exam. Okay, there is no experiment, nothing. It will be also multiple choice questions. Okay, واضح? Yes? Paper. It will be on paper. You will have this kind of sheet where you have to shade the correct answers with your black pen. All right, black pencil, sorry. All right. The attendance, as you said, it is mandatory. Your attendance, it is recorded either by face or fingerprint. And the tutorial, as I said, it is optional. It's up to you if you want to attend or not. It's your decision. These are the books that can be used as a support for you. If you need we can say, to extend, you know, we can say your knowledge. This is the book that we use it to prepare our presentations. We can say this is for the cell and molecular biology. The elements, it's for genetic. And you can find also this one, the cell and molecular biology. هذول الاثنين, they are the same. But this is the first edition and this is the second edition. Okay, but both are the same. The content is the same. Okay, I don't know, maybe you can find them on the internet, free, I don't know. Otherwise, there is some copies in the library. You can use them. Okay. Of course, all the PowerPoint presentations or our lectures, they are already uploaded in advance for you on the LMS, you know, system. So you can find the labs. You can find even these introductions. You find it already. You find the syllabus, you find the schedule, everything is in the system. Just go through it, go inside, put your username and so on, and you can have access to it. Okay? Is it clear? You have questions? Yes? I said as extended information. يعني the exams I cannot judge. كل واحد, كل doctor, how is his concept? This is, you have to ask each doctor, you know, do we need to learn from the books or the slides, is it enough? كل واحد وطريقته. You are not the same. But mostly the PowerPoint presentations, we gather the most information, the most important things that you must know. You cannot miss anything from the PowerPoint. As I said, the booklet, it will help you to extend, maybe they will explain more in details. You will have more sentences or something. But the most important concept, they will be taken care in the PowerPoint presentations. Okay? Other questions? Yes? No, you don't have to do any presentation. No, it will be like a dry lab. They will show you something. You will maybe look through microscopes, but there is no really, it's mostly dry lab. There is no experiment that you will do. All right? Yes? Not information. You will have a presentation like small lectures, and then you will go to the lab for demonstrations. So we're going to show you how it works or the experiment and so on. Okay? Other questions? Yes? Not quizzes. You will have like a questions, as I said in the tutorial. يعني في الآخر lectures you will not have a quizzes because we don't have time for it. It's not like physics or something that you will have like sometimes a booklet of exercise and so on. Biology is different. We don't have time for that. But the tutorial, the doctor can provide 4 or 5 questions for each topic. لأنه tutorial it will cover the 3 lectures of the week. Okay? الثلاثة دروس, the 3 lessons that you will study it. يعني الدكتور بيجي يقول لكم do you have any questions about it? Okay? على 3 topics اللي درستوهم, 3 subjects اللي درستوهم. Okay? And then he can provide you some example of questions. Some example of multiple choice question مشان تكون عندكم فكرة how the questions they will be constructed related to your lectures. Okay? And there is not really quizzes. We don't have enough time to go through it. Yes? Yeah, you have it in the syllabus. If you go to the syllabus, you will have all the lectures and all the topics that you will study. If you go to the syllabus, you will have everything. Okay? Any questions? واضح? We can start? يلا بسم الله. Anyway, if you don't understand anything, there is also office hours. Okay, you can come to the office of the doctor and you can ask questions if you want. You don't want to wait until the tutorial sessions. There is office hours. كل دكتور عنده office hours. تيجي يكون موجود في المكتب and you can ask them questions. Okay? All right. So our lecture today's first lectures is about cell and cell organelle. It's very, very simple lectures, very sweet. I'm sure that you already studied this in secondary school in biology. So everybody knows what is the cell and what are organelle, right? Can you tell me what is a cell? How you can define it? Unit of life. This is really general definitions. It's structural and functional unit of life. Structures, functions, and units. لأنه why units? لأنه من الcell we construct a tissue, and from the tissue we construct an organ. All right. So that's why we call it a unit of life. All right. And how many cells do we have? Huh? We have 2 types of cells. You have somatic cells in our body, and you have germinal cells. صح؟ السوماتيك cells اللي هم في الأورجانز تبعنا، والجيرمينال شو هن؟ شو؟ نو ما قعدت نحكي على البلانتس، ونساو البلانتس ونساو human. No. الجيرمينال cells هم sperm cells والوسايت. اوكي؟ السوماتيكس هم الكاردياك cells، الليفر cells، الكدني cells، هذول كلهم سميوهم somatic cells. الجيرمينال cells هم بتاع reproductions. اوكي sperm cells والاوفوسايت. واضح؟ اوكي. So this is بالنسبة for the human we can say vertebrate. So these cells we call them as well eukaryotic cells, right? And for the bacteria and the fungi we call them prokaryote. أعطيني the main difference between لما تنظر للسيل تقول لي هذه بروكاريوت هذه اوكاريوت. Yes. Okay. So I said the main. Very well. Yeah, there is a multiple, difference between the eukaryotic. But as I said, the major thing when you look at it, this is eukaryotic, this is prokaryotic. Just to look هل أنه في nucleus or ما في nucleus. هل أنه DNA it is free in the cytoplasm or it is included inside the nucleus. Okay. For the prokaryote it is free. موجودة في السيتوبلازم، وفي الأوكاريوت we find it inside the nucleus. Okay, so this is, we can say, the major difference. Of course, there is other like the organelle. They are surrounded by membrane in the eukaryotes, not in the, for example, in the prokaryote and so on. But this is really the things that we can say catch our eyes when we look to two types of cells. So, do you have, as for example, the question is comes, هل أنه the cells will live eternally? هل أنتوا عندكم السيلز من الولدتوا لحد هلا they are the same? Alright, so the number of cells in our body, it stay the same, right? لكن you have to know that the cells, they have what we call a life span. تعرفوا شو هو life span؟ هي مدة الحياة تبعهم or whatever. Alright, this is the life span. For example, the red blood cells, the lifespan تبعها is كم؟ 4 months? 4 months. It's 120 days. 120 يوم. For example, هذه مدة الحياة تبع ال RBCs. So each cell, it has a lifespan. After that, it will die and it will be replaced by other cells. All right. So the cells, they can renew their self via what mechanism? What we call it? Mitosis, division. We can say it more specifically. So for the somatic cells, we have mitosis. For the germinal cells, we have meiosis. So you will have this chapter, whole chapters about mitosis, meiosis later on. All right. All right, so this we talked about it. Organelle. So how you can define organelle? أعطيني definition of organelle. Yes. Yes, we can. Yes, very well. Yes. Functions. Yes. Correct. So organelles, they are, we can say, they are structures موجودين في الcytoplasm inside the cells. All right. And they are usually surrounded by a membrane in the eukaryotic cell. This is what we said. And they, as I said, they ensure specific function. Called organelle, it has its own function, which is determined by its structures. Okay? So, the organelle, as we said, they are membrane bound. يعني they are organelle which are surrounded by a membrane. All right? And each organelle, it has its specific functions. All right. So this organelle, as we said, موجودين inside the cells. Where inside the cells? It's in the cytoplasm, right? And this organelle, usually they will not like float. بيسبحوا في الcytoplasm. Okay? كل organelle, each one, it has its own positions. Okay? It has its own position, and this position, it is determined by what we call the cytoskeleton. We're going to have a whole lectures about it. The cytoskeleton is a kind of network of fibers, molecules, all right? So they work like a network, and the, we can say the organelle, they are attached to these structures, okay? So this cytoskeleton هو اللي يحدد, okay? It will limit, we can say, the positions of the organelle. All right? Okay. So this is, we can say, the list of some of the organelles that are contained inside the eukaryotic cells. We have the nucleus, the ribosomes, the endoplasmic reticulum. We have two types. We have the rough and we have the smooth. We have the Golgi apparatus, lysosome, peroxisome, mitochondria, and then cytoskeleton. So today we're going to talk about, we will try to talk about all of these organelles in terms of structures and in terms of functions. All right? All right, so we start by the first organelle, اللي هو الnucleus. Okay? So the nucleus, as you can see, in terms of structures or shape, it is a spherical shape. Okay, it is a spherical shapes, and usually each cell, it has one nucleus. All right, except there is an exception for this rule, which is for RBCs and for muscle cells. RBCs is deprived from nucleus. However, the muscle cells, they have more than one. Can you tell me why? Yes. Mm-hmm. Perfect. This is the correct answer. Perfect. So the RBCs, they are anucleated. ما عندهم nucleus. Because they are anucleated cells. ليش? To give space for the hemoglobin, to carry more hemoglobin, to carry more oxygens. All right? However, the muscle cells, they are active cells for the contractions and so on. So it needs a lot of energy. All right? And which organelle produce energy? Mitochondria. All right? The mitochondria, to produce a lot of energy, it needs a lot of protein, enzymes, things that comes from the nucleus. And to ensure we can set the right amount of energy required for muscle constructions, we need to provide enough protein and enzymes for its functions. Nucleus واحد, it cannot do that. So that's why the muscle cells, they will have more than nucleus, so they can provide a lot of protein. They can help the mitochondria to produce, more energy. واضح? Clear? All right, so what is the function of the nucleus? Of course, تعرفوا النيوكليوس موجود فيه what? What you have inside the nucleus? DNA. So it is the control center for the gene expression. لأنه from this DNA, we're gonna transcribe it, نحصله على messenger RNA, and then from messenger RNA راح نحصل على proteinate. So it's where we're gonna control the gene expressions. And also بما أنه في DNA, also is where we're gonna have DNA replication. You know what is it, DNA replication? Can you tell me واحدة بينكم هون what is DNA replications? Come on. You study this or not? So what is it? What is DNA replication? Have you heard about it? So what is it? Okay, yes? Very well. So the replication of DNA هي ولا يسموها duplications. يعني DNA has become double. So the cell before it divides, it will double its DNA. So after it can be splitted between the two daughter cells. Okay? So this is what we call the DNA replication. You will study this in details in molecular biology, but this is what does it mean, the duplication or replication process. And of course, بما أنه DNA, it is included in the nucleus, so the nucleus also, it is involved in this process. Okay? واضح? Any questions? All right. So, the structures. من شو متكون النيوكليوس؟ النيوكليوس متكون من membrane, which you call it nuclear envelope. متكون من هون, the one which is inside, we have the nucleoplasm. The one inside the nucleoplasm راح نلقى الكروماتين. And then we have what we call the nucleoli or nucleolus. All right? So we're going to see each of these, we can say, substructures inside the nucleus. All right. We start by the nuclear envelope. The nuclear envelope, it's a double membrane. 1, 2. Two membranes. All right? So as you can see here, we have 1 and 2. It's a double layer membrane. I have an outer membrane and I have an inner membrane. All right? And as you can see in this membrane, I have a pore. Okay, I have pores. We call them nuclear pores. So these nuclear pores, they are very important for the in and out of molecules, okay, from the nucleus to the cytoplasm and so on. So it's through this pore, so there is, we can say, the traffic of molecules in and out, okay? And as you can see here, this membrane, the outer membrane, it communicates with another organelle, which is called the endoplasmic reticulum, okay? So as we said, there is two types. There is rough and there is the smooth. As you can see, the rough is like a flattened, we can say, sacs, or flattened or folded membrane, we can say it. And the smooth is like a cone, okay? وشو الفرق بيناتهم؟ هذا سميناه rough لأنه it has ribosome attached to it. With smooth, doesn't have. It has a smooth surface. There is no ribosomes. All right. So the outer membrane, it is connected to the endoplasmic reticulum. وهذا يخلي إنه النيوكليوس it communicate with the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. واضح؟ All right. The second substructures of the nucleus نسميوها nucleoplasm. من اسمها تشبه cytoplasm. All right, it resembles to cytoplasm. Is kind of the cytoplasm of the nucleus. All right, so it's liquid. It's a jelly-like structures. All right, وبيكون فيها كل الماتيريال DNA and so on. All right, inside the chromatin, and it has also the nucleoli اللي شفناه هون, the nucleolus or nucleoli, and this is where we can say we synthesize the ribosomes. Okay, do you know what is the ribosomes? Yeah? Yes, it's the site of synthesis of protein. Correct. All right. So what is the function of the nucleoplasm? So it's very simple. بما أنه it's a jelly-like structures, so it is very malleable. So هذا يخلي إنه nucleus it keeps its shape. Okay, so this is very important for the shape of your nucleus. And the second thing, بما انه it's liquid, so هذا يخلي انه some molecules inside, they can float inside the nucleoplasm. Okay, clear? The transportations? Yeah. Just imagine you have like something jelly fluids inside. So anything which is inside, it can circulate. Okay, فيها تتحرك وتمشي من مكان لمكان. It can be transported from one side to another side. It's liquid. It's not something rigid structures. Okay. All right. فهالnucleoplasm we said we have chromatin. شو هو الكروماتين؟ Chromatin, you will study it in molecular biology in very detailed, واحد. بس هون I'm gonna say when I tell you chromatin, you tell me it's DNA plus protein. It's a complex protein plus DNA. Protein هذوما نسميهم histone protein. Okay? So you will study this. أنا ما راح أدخل في details. It will be the molecular biology. We'll do that. But just keep in mind, chromatin is an association between the DNA, which you can see here as a rope-like DNA, and what you have see here, the blue ball, it's the histone protein, okay? And you can see here how the DNA, it is enrolled around the histone. All right, so when you look to the chromatin, the microscopes, you will find two regions. We have what we call heterochromatin, and you have another region which is called euchromatin. شو الفرق بيناتهم؟ Yes? Yes, excellent. So as you can see من الصورة, الheterochromatin, the DNA and the histone, they are very close to each other, all right? Very, very close. So the structures is very compact. So هون لما نحب نسوي transcription حق الجينز there is no way إنه الانزيمز اللي حتسوي transcription can enter between them because it's very tight. ما في مجال. Alright? However, في الأوكروماتين you see how there is a space between them. So these gene اللي موجودين هون they can be transcribed. فينا نحصل منها messenger RNA and protein. Alright? So it's less compactness. So the DNA and the gene which are present in the ochromatin they will be transcribed. راح نحصل منهم protein. However, the one in heterochromatin they will not be expressed at all. Okay? واضح؟ Clear? Okay. So this is for the chromatin. Ribosomes, you already told me the site of protein synthesis, and the thing that we said, ribosomes we cannot say it's an organelle لأنه they don't have membrane bound structures. Okay, so but we study it لأنه as structures موجودة inside the cell and it is very important for the synthesis of protein. But we cannot say ribosome is an organelle. It's not an organelle. At an organelle it has to be membrane bound. It doesn't have membrane. All right. So this is between brackets. So شو قلنا للريبوزوم؟ ريبوزوم فما نوعين. It's one ribosomes. لكن في ribosomes which are free في السيتوبلازم. And there is ribosome اللي شفناهم في الصورة. They are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. So شو الفرق بيناتهم؟ Why there is some ribosomes which are free and other which are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum? Can you guess? كلهم في البروتين. Okay, yes. Yes. Organelle. Yes. So ribosomes الفانكشن تبعها it's the same. It's synthesis of protein. It's the same thing. This is the only function of the ribosomes. However, the free and the attached, they will synthesize protein which they will have different destinations. كل واحدة رايحة المكان. Alright? So, ribosomes, هون the structure is very simple. I have a large and small subunit. يتجمعوا مع بعض. They will form the ribosomes. Okay? I will not very simple. I will not enter in the details. You will study this in molecular biology. But this is the most important thing, is that when you have a free ribosomes, البروتينات that you will be synthesized, they will go destination تبعها يا إما النيوكليوس يا إما راح يروحوا للميتوكوندريا وإلا راح يروحوا للبيروكسيزوم. Destination تختلف. However, the one that they will be synthesized by the ribosomes attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, destination تبعها يا إما اللايزوزومز وإلا they will be excreted outside of the cell. تروح another organ, another cell. واضح؟ So the function is the same. However, the destination تختلف, is different. Okay? Clear? All right. Alright, so reticulum endoplasmic reticulum already نحكيوا عليه. Alright, so شفناه already في الصورة تبع النيوكليوس. So قلنا there is two types. في smooth وفي rough. So we have the smooth and we have the rough. So the smooth اللي قلنا اللي ما فيه ribosome attached to it. Can you please close the door? And the rough اللي هو to which it is attached the ribosomes. Okay? So in terms of structures شفتوه هذايا it's kind of membrane. It's a like of sacs which are connected to each other, right? Like this, all right? And the tubule, and the endoplasmic smooth one, it is kind of tubule. واحد like flat things, والآخر is tubules. This is in terms of structures. So structure is different, so function is different. Okay, دايما structures define the functions. All right. So شو الفانكشن تبع الاندوبلازميك ريتيكولوم؟ the rough one هو بروتين، بما انه فيه رايبوزومز. اوكي، so الفانكشن تبعه هو protein synthesis. Yes. Yeah, we'll see it later. Yes, correct. Okay, and for the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the function تبعه هي synthesis of fats, synthesis of lipids, synthesis of steroids hormones. Okay, so smooth is for lipids, rough is for protein. Okay, so this is the فرق. There is a structure, difference in the structures, which leads to a difference in the functions as well. All right. So all the eukaryotic cells, they have endoplasmic reticulum except the RBCs with sperm. Can you tell me why? They don't have? Yes. Who? Which? Okay. The red blood cells, look, the sperm cells, they don't have nucleus. Sperm cells, it carry the DNA of the male. So how it cannot have a DNA? It has a nucleus. But the RBCs, as we said, it is anucleated. ما فيها nucleus, صح? So ما فيها DNA, ما فيها ولا شيء. So why we bother ourselves to have endoplasmic reticulum and protein synthesis? All right? So no need. ما في nucleus. Okay? ما في DNA. So why there is a machinery of protein synthesis? That it doesn't make any sense. So that's why RBCs doesn't have an endoplasmic reticulum. Now when it comes to the sperm cells, it has a nucleus, but it doesn't need protein. Sperm cells need energy, needs mitochondria, needs glucose, all right, to survive, all right? Doesn't need protein, it needs sugar to survive, to migrate, you know, to the site and so on. So لما تخلص هالreserve of energy after 2 or 3 days, the sperm will die. All right. So it's very important to know why these two types of cells, they don't have endoplasmic reticulum. All right. So the next organelle, we call it the Golgi. Or سموه, other books سموهم Golgi body. Other books, they call them Golgi apparatus, wherever. There is a lot of names are giving to this organelle. So say it's Golgi, all right? Very simple. So in terms of structure, يشبه شوي الendoplasmic reticulum is like a sacs, okay, flattened, and they are stuck, فوق بعض, all right? They are like that. Okay, and when you have this organelle, we have two faces, an upper face من الفوق, and which is the one in the down. The one which is in the up, we call it cis face. The one in the down, we call it the trans face. Okay, so the cis face بتكون مقابلة الendoplasmic reticulum. والtrans face راح تكون مقابلة cell membrane. Okay, so we'll see why in the next slide. So as your colleague said, look to these pictures. Look to this. This is your protein. All right. So it will be put it in a vesicle. It will be this is the vesicle, the orange one. It will be transported from the endoplasmic reticulum through the Golgi sacs, and after that it can be excreted outside of the cells. There is another pictures also in up here where you can see this. What you see, this is the vesicle. See? And inside to it there is the protein. تخرج من الأندوبلازميك ريتيكولوم وتروح للجولجاي. It will fuse with the membrane والبروتين تدخل inside the Golgi. Alright? يعني البروتين ما تخرج من الأندوبلازميك ريتيكولوم لحالها. It will be enrolled in the vesicle تروح للجولجاي للسيس فيس تدخل للسيس فيس. It will fuse مع الممبرين تبع السيس فيس of the Golgi and the protein will go inside. Okay? So this is how the protein they will move from the endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi. Okay? شو راح يصير في الجولجي؟ ليش بتروح للاندوبلازميك ريتيكولوم؟ Yes? Why they will be modified?
Depends on where it will be sent to.
Mm-hmm.
It will be modified depends on the genetic code that we send.
اوكي ما تدخل جينيتيك كود لانه هلا نحكيه على بروتين سو ما عاد في جينز. But it's half correct we can say. Okay? Yes? Yes. So mostly البروتينات بتروح للجولجاي to be modified. شو معني؟ يصوروا لها تعديل we can say. Alright? So شو التعديل؟ راح نضيف for example OH group. راح أضيف phosphate group inside. I will add for example glucose to make it glycoprotein for example. Okay? I will add to it a kind of tag. We call it tag. تعرفوا التاج اللي بنلقاه موجود في الملابس؟ So this tag it will be very important لأنه هو راح يحدد the destinations of your protein. Alright? And these modifications as well, it is very important for the function of your protein. لأن البروتين to be functional لازم كل structure تبعها تكون complete. لازم نضيف لها ال OH، لازم نضيف لها phosphate، لازم نضيف لها methyl group. So all this to make your protein functional. Alright? So that's why هذا كله يصير in the Golgi. So we're gonna have modify them and we're gonna sort them. So that's why we call the Golgi is like the post office. Okay? كأنه هو البريد. هو اللي will determine. So this modified راح تروح للليزوزوم. This is we modify it like this. It will goes for example to the nucleoblast. So it's the post office of the cell. Alright? So this is what the Golgi functions. Modify. It will sort and it will package. دايما it will package لأنه دايما نحطهم في vesicle. The protein ما يروحوا لحالهم هيك. They will be protected by inside the vesicle and then they will go to the destination and the vesicle will fuse with the membrane and the protein تدخل inside the organelle or it goes outside of the cell. Okay? Is it clear? You will have a whole lectures about this, what we call protein trafficking. كيف تصير مسيرة البروتين لما تنصنع لحد their destinations. Okay? It will be in the second trimester. Yes? Yes. يعني شو المشكلة؟ It has a nucleus, so it has proteins, but doesn't have endoplasmic reticulum. But عنده already doesn't have endoplasmic reticulum, but definitely it has protein and it have everything. Okay, but it doesn't need an endoplasmic reticulum for it. All right, next. I have only 6 minutes. Mitochondria. Very quickly, you know that mitochondria, it is the powerhouse. That is where the cells produce ATP, all right? And as you know, as much as you have, ATP, your cells normally, it is more active. يعني الcells اللي تحتاج أكثر ATP, it will have, an increased number of mitochondria, okay? In terms of structures, I'll show it from here. So the structure, as you can see, it is elongated. It's not spherical. It is elongated. It's like that, throat shape. Membrane, so we have two membranes. We have an outer membrane here. And you have also inside, I will have an inner membrane. And as you can see, this inner membrane, it is folded. All right, في fold هون. So this fold نسميهم cristae. Okay, we call them cristae. And between these two membranes, there is a space which we call it the space intermembrane. Very simple. Okay, I have outer, inner, folded. نسميه الفولد هذه نسميه cristae. And between these two membranes, there is a space. We call it the space intermembrane. All right. Inside the mitochondria, there is what we call matrix. It's like the cytoplasm, we can say, of the mitochondria. But we don't call it cytoplasm, we call it matrix. Okay? الماتريكس هذا بيكون فيه موجود بروتينات، بيكون فيه موجود enzymes، بيكون فيه موجود DNA. Okay? You know that you have mitochondrial DNA. All right? So from where we inherit mitochondrial DNA? From the mother or from the father? From the mother. So all your DNA mitochondrial, you got it from your mother, not your father. Okay? It's not a half-half. So this DNA بتكون موجودة inside the matrix. All right? So I can consider that the mitochondria, it's like a cell inside the cells. لأنها عندها ribosomes, عندها DNA, عندها enzyme. So it has its own machine. All right? So it's like a small cell inside the cell, we can say. All right? All right, so this is a disease. We call it Kearns-Sayre syndromes. So this disease, it's due to a defect in the mitochondrial DNA. Of course, there is other sign, clinical sign of it, but the most important إنه mitochondrial DNA defects, it will lead to paralysis of the eyes and the degeneration of the retina, and of course, this person, it will be blind, right? So this is just a syndrome which is related to the defect in the mitochondrial DNA. All right, give me 3 minutes for the lysosomes, just the first slides. The structures اللي شفناهم لحد هلا كلهم they have two membrane, outer membrane, inner membrane, صح? This one, the lysosome, only one membrane. All right? The shape, as you can see, it's a spherical, like the nucleus. All right? But only one membrane, ما في outer وما في inner, only one. All right? And this lysosomes, inside of it, it has a lot of protein inside. It has a lot of enzymes inside. So it has multiple functions. You can have hydrolase, protease, etc. There is a lot of different types of enzyme inside, which they will have multiple functions. And these enzymes, they cannot work until the pH of your lysosomes, it is acidic. لازم يكون acidic. لازم ال pH تبعه between 4.5 to 5. For these types of enzymes that are located inside your lysosome to work, they need to have this kind of pH. You know that the enzymes, they are protein, right? And the protein to work لازمهم يكونوا عندهم optimal conditions. Temperature, pH, في enzymes they work at acidic pH, في enzyme يشتغلوا بس at neutral pH, pH 7. The other at alkaline pH, all right? So to work, to be functional, we need to have optimum conditions for this protein. So in the case of the enzymes or protein موجودين في lysosomes, they need an acidic pH to be functional, okay? So how comes that this lysosomes, the inside of it, it is acidic? من وين بيجي this acidity, all right? So what you can see here, but you cannot see it, in the membrane here, we have a pump, مضخة, all right? This pump, it will pump the proton H plus from the cytoplasm وتدخلها inside the lysosomes. تعرفوا لما ال H plus, it will increase, ال pH, it will decrease. So this proton, it will pump the proton H plus from the cytoplasm and it will load it inside the lysosomes وهذا يخلي إنه ال pH inside the lysosomes it will decrease. Okay? The pump, you have a pump, all right? And this pump بتضخ ال H plus اللي موجود في السيتوبلازم بتدخله inside the lysosomes. So when this proton, they look at its chemistry, when the H plus increase, the pH decrease. Okay? So the pH decrease معناها it's an acidic pH. Okay? Clear?